I'm gonna tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't able to save no money till we moved here, and he got a job here.
Okay.
That's when we began to save and put our money together. I was working too, and guess how much I was making a week?
How much?
First time they paid me $1 a week.
$1.
$1 a week. I was not but a teenager working at that time. Okay, they went up, paid me $1.25, and eventually they paid me $1.50, and that was it
For a whole week.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people don't believe that, but that is the fact.
Listen, if anybody's interested in getting into podcasting, grab this book. Go on Amazon, grab this book. It goes with me almost everywhere. This book has like a workbook. It has places you can fill it in. It tells you how to monetize your podcast. It tells you how to set it up. It tells you about sponsorships. It even, listen, go on Amazon and get this book. And this is the Bible for podcasters. Listen, it was ranked #1 in podcasting books. Look right here. Best new podcasting book by Book Authority. Right there. Boom. And a little secret. Y'all, when you grab this book, I think it's page 43. There is a code on there. Listen, you can get access to her class, her course. Get her course. It's worth hundreds of dollars. But this book is it's less than $50. Grab this book on Amazon. I'm telling you, I carry it everywhere. She is the best. Grab this book on Amazon.
Hello, y'all. I'm Jimmie Cameron, better known as Jimmie of Jimmie and Bella, the brother and sister duo, old school. I'm here today to introduce you to a living wonder. And I'm proud to be here. I live in Los Angeles, but I came all the way across country to celebrate this young lady's birthday, even though I'm a little late. She turned on June 19th, 104 years old. You'd never know it because she's brighter than all of us together and very, very aware of the world and what's going on in the world. And she's an angel in human form. This is my aunt, Alberta Cameron Jones. Say hello to them, darling.
Say hello, Grandma.
Come on, Lee.
Yeah, you.
Hello. Hello.
Greg will talk back to you, but they're there. They're there. And this is George, her grandson.
Yeah, George, over to how everybody doing. I'm her eldest grandson.
Now, hey, Bert, how are you feeling today?
I feel today.
How you feeling today?
I feel good seeing y'all.
Well, I feel good seeing you today. Now, we're going to ask you some questions as we did before. And the first thing I want to know is, when you were a kid, by the way, you guys, Bert was born in
1919.
1919.
June
1919. And I was asking her earlier, when did she perceive that this country had inequities racially and so on? And in those times, many of us have no idea what that was really like to live through it. We have a living example here who's going to talk to us about when she was a kid and she realized that there was inequity and how that affected her. Go ahead, Amber. You're a kid in the Grange, Georgia.
It affected every kid, every black kid that was born. It affected them. Now, what else you want to know?
I want to know how you felt about it. Up to the point when you decided.
Oh, I didn't like it. Because, see, when we would go to school, they didn't want us to read and write. But when we was in school, what they would do they would have us to read to recite the preamble. We the peoples of the United States of America. I didn't like that because in the winter it said we was all one. I didn't like it. I had to say it because I was in school. But it affected me because I didn't like it. It upset me.
How did you feel about how the older men particularly were treated in those days, being called boy? How did you feel about the older men in those days who were being treated with such disrespect, being called boy, and even by a boy?
We felt so sorry for them. The ladies, they would treat the ladies a little better than they did the men. But we didn't like it. But what could we do?
Right. So you decided that you didn't want to be in the South. By the way, you guys are both families. She's a Cameron, I'm a Cameron. My father, well, first of all, let me say, Bert is the seventh child of 10 siblings, 5 girls and 5 boys. Her brother, my father, was the oldest of the 10. So I asked you earlier about my father. He was killed years ago at Hellsbar Dam. He was an unsung hero in the civil rights movement. As you all may know, there are many unsung heroes that it's not, they're not famous. They're not Mega Everest or anything like that. But her brother and my father was in, I'm not going to go into this extensively, I'll do it at another time. But my father was a proactive person in the union that he was in. He did what we call weathering, which today would be something like plastering. And they didn't like his proactiveness. Anyway, what was he like? He died when I was 4. I didn't know him.
He was a kind, gentle person until you made him angry.
Well, that's the same with you. Remember I told you I don't want to meet that other lady? And Bert said, well, you don't have to meet her. And my friend Pat, when I told her the story, Pat said, yeah, if you don't call her, she won't come. Anyway, go ahead. He was artistic too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, tell him what he did.
I don't know. That didn't do no good.
We'll see what we're recording on this. So like the story about what you said, like how he would chop a tree down. You know what he would think about that tree. You can tell us about that.
He did. He went out in the woods and got a tree and dressed them and made a piano.
Oh, that's right. Now, I never heard that story. I knew he made furniture, but this is new.
He
actually made a piano.
He actually made a piano and he played it.
Really?
Now that goes out of what stuff. It wasn't no piano like this high. You know?
It was no, what do you call them? Steinway? But look, he also made jewelry out of forts.
Out of silver.
Yeah.
Silver spoons. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it was silver spoons.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Now, you guys, both our families were from LaGrange, Georgia. And I just learned that George had heard the same story I heard from Bert. She was actually chased by a UFO. Tell us about that, Bert. When you were about 9 years old, you say?
I was about 9.
Now, LaGrange is supposed to be one of the places where there's a lot of UFO activity, even for, what was it, 1937?
Yeah, they said that.
Well, my aunt had an experience of that nature even before 1937. It's just not documented. We're documenting it now. Tell them about your experience
Well, I went to my mother sent me to the store about 2 blocks from where I lived. And I was, after I left the store, I started back home with a great big bill I had to pay. And this thing come just as, I mean, that's straight, it was coming straight to me.
Oh.
And I didn't know what to do, and I just turned and went the other way.
But it was off the ground. It was flying.
Yeah,
And something you had never seen before.
never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to the next street. I went out to wait to get back home.
But you just wanted to get to.
Exactly.
I never heard the story, but what actually happened? It didn't catch you, obviously. What happened? Did you go in the house, or did it just disappear?
I don't know what happened because I went there. I looked the other way. They were trying to get back coming. So the street told me in this great big field.
Yeah.
And I had to pass that field.
Yeah.
And what I did when I noticed them coming straight to me, I just turned and went the other way and went the next street.
Right.
Come on down to my house.
Now, you know, there are people who are skeptical of UFOs, but you guys, this is a lady who's 104. She don't lie. And this is a true story. I know myself, as George has also attested, that we are aware that LaGrange, the place of our lineage where our families are from, that there's a lot of activity there. But we're going to move on to another subject matter. Bert, what do you feel about humanity now?
About humanity.
We on this planet. How do you see us?
How do I see us on this planet now?
Yeah, humanity. The people on this planet. What is your take? Politically, or we can even start with America. What do you think about what's happening in America now, politically?
It's something that we never, in all my days, seen before. And nobody that's living or dead, I guess.
What a lot of, basically though, Granny, like with the amount of violence now that you cut the TV on, you turn it to your favorite show on CNN, and you're just seeing all over America. Not even just here in Dayton, Ohio. Like
they talk about
it. Then every couple of days it's a shooting here, and then all around the U.S. is just shootings after shootings and mass shootings.
I ain't never seen nothing so bad
And
as it is now.
You once told me that the can was upside down.
The world is bottom side up.
Bottom side up. You are precious, young man. So, from your perspective, because you have much more life experience and insight and references than we do, how did we get the can to turn upright? Do you have any suggestions for us?
For the world to turn back
upright. The can, meaning the world. How do we get it to turn upright?
You can't. It's probably gone too far now.
It's gone too far. I feel the same way. I feel we dug ourselves in such a deep hole.
The only thing anybody can do now is the Lord. He would have to step in. Intervene.
Yeah. Well, now, we've talked about
I know you don't. I know.
No, I ain't talking about that.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, I agree with you, because I believe in order for humanity to survive ourselves, there are 3 possibilities: either divine intervention, like you was just saying, extraterrestrial intervention, or a major global catastrophe that puts everybody on the same level. In other words, the
That's
billionaire.
not going to happen.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know that. You see, if a comet or asteroid hit this planet right now,
We do know that because
I'm sorry.
just like I told you a while ago, unless the law intervenes. Now, it could happen then, but otherwise it ain't going to happen.
You won't argue with you. Well, let me tell you this. You've had 2 marriages, right?
Yes.
Long-term marriages and good marriages. What do you have to say to the young ladies and young men out there in terms of how to make a relationship work?
To make your relationship work, the two of you have to agree. You have to agree to disagree sometime. And when you're going to do something, sit down and talk it out, talk it over. I might be wrong sometime, and he might be right. He might be right sometime, and I'm wrong. But we talk and come together and thrash it out. And that's the way we lived our life.
Now, the ingredients that makes all that possible, though, is what? Love, right?
Love is
Sincere, respectful, intent.
That's right.
Yes, ma'am. Now, there's some other things I wanted to ask you. We talked about race. We've talked about our country. We've talked about the planet. Okay, there are those out there who want to know about from 1919 throughout the history of this country, your perception, your feelings about the things that you experienced. You were there and we weren't. But from your perspective, how did you feel about, first of all, leaving the South? And you were talking about, George, how much it took for she and her husband to save.
Yeah, the sacrifice, grandmother. When you were saying now how much did granddaddy get paid a week back then?
So about $7 a week.
$7 a week, and you saved for like 4 years?
I don't know how many.
About 3, 4
Wait a
years.
minute. We got married in 1946. Go for that. 1946.
Okay.
That's when we got married.
And she left in 47.
And y'all left in 47? Or what?
So we had now much time to save that.
Uh-huh.
So I want to talk about how you.
I'm gonna tell you something. We wasn't able to save no money till we moved here, and you got a job here.
Okay.
That's when we began to save and put our money together. I was working too, and guess how much I was making a week?
How much?
First time they paid me $1 a week.
$1.
$1 a week. I wasn't as a teenager at that time. Okay. They went up, paid me $1.25. And eventually they paid me $1.50, and that was it for a whole week. That's right. I know a lot of people don't believe that, but that is the fact.
Well, the issue for me is how far does $1 go? What could you buy with $1 in those?
Well, that's another thing. Everything was so cheap, it was cheap as dirt.
Well, tell us about it.
You could go to the store and get a yard of cloth for 10 cents.
Really?
Yes. So that it was a difference in the prices and stuff. You could take $1 and get quite a bit of stuff with $1.
Was grocery shopping? So if you just did some grocery shopping, just say what you was gonna have for the week, how much of that dollar would you think you would spend?
Well, what we would do, Joe, we would put all the money together, and maybe with him making $7 a week, I put mine with his, And that give us a response, you know, to get through. That's one thing I never suffered for food and clothes because my mother made out of clothes.
Well, can you tell us about our family, like your father, Grandpa Fields, and your mother, Grandma Ada, and your siblings? How was life for them?
Wait a minute, now I don't understand.
No, your dad, Grandpa Fields,
Mhm.
your mother, Grandma Ada, and your brothers and sisters. What was life like in those days for them? Like, what did Grandpa Fields do? How did he make money? He was a preacher, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Did he have a church?
no,
No.
no, he was assistant.
Assistant. So did the rest of you guys work and help the family? We're trying to find out about the actual unit.
Well,
Kids.
well, that's the reason we don't have no education. The older children had to go to work to help make it. And the older children would also have to help take care of us.
Mm-hmm.
So what else you want to know?
I want to know, as a female in those days, what was it like being a female, black female in the South?
It was pretty heavy, pretty hard.
And you said a moment ago that the women were treated better than the black men.
They were.
And you also said that your heart went out to the black men. I find that very interesting. Can you elaborate on that a little? How did it feel if you saw your father or brother called boy?
It hurt. It really hurt to see them, being called boy and girls and they grown people.
Right.
It hurt.
And Grandma Ada, what was she like? She worked hard in the house. I mean, 10 kids.
Well, you know what? She would have to go out and work. That's what they did back then. My mother had to go out and work too.
Mm.
My dad would work in the field and she would work, do some domestic work.
Mm-hmm.
And then while she was doing that, and another thing, my older children, our sisters and brothers, they had what they call a meal.
Mm-hmm.
And they were working the meal.
Mm.
And that's the reason we didn't get no education, because everybody had to try to pitch in to got so many children
Yeah.
to make ends meet.
So you guys didn't have television. You have radio.
That's all we had, radio.
So how did you enjoy it?
Hmm?
What was enjoyment like? Fun? Did you have fun?
Well, I'm going to tell you what happened one time.
Yeah.
We was getting ready to go to church, and this really boiled me up. We was, because my mother and father never did send us to church. They took us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We were getting ready to go to church, and we turned that radio on,
Mm-hmm.
and this was a white church having service, and we heard the preacher say, put a darky in the kitchen and everybody come on to church. That wound me up.
Oh, put a darky in the kitchen and everybody come on to church. Oh.
And told them everybody else to come on to church. Put a darky in the kitchen. Yeah. And I worked with some people. They would go to Atlanta and meet me with their children.
Mm. For days?
Not for days, maybe 1 or 2 days, maybe.
So you were the parents to their kids for 1 or 2
Yeah.
days.
And how old was you then, bro?
I was in my teens. I don't know exactly how old.
What was that feeling like?
Hmm?
What was that feeling like? Being responsible?
But I'm going to tell you something.
Come on now.
And what happened is, and when they would come off of these trips, they would take me home. And I heard the husband said, well, when they went in the house, or come in the house, he said, well, I'm going to take the darky home.
Mm.
That ain't what, they didn't say dark at that time, but they called. I can't think of what it was right now, but he called us another name.
Uh-huh.
And what I did something dangerous. I asked the little boy, I said, what do the word? I can't think of the name of the word they used, but it was slang,
Yeah.
a nigger.
Right.
And he said, I'm going to tell you. He said, but don't you tell them that I told you. And he said, that means nigger.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Blackbird, what were the politics in those days that you can remember? Politics, you know, what was it like from your perspective and from the family's perspective?
I didn't know nothing about politics growing up. Didn't know that until TV come on there.
Really?
I run it in.
Yeah. So what kind of work did you do other than keeping these kids and so on?
I worked in a place where I had cleaned all
To what?
fish and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Not this wasn't fish. What the name of some of it?
It's okay.
Other than fish, call the name of some of it. Fowl.
Wow. Yeah. Chickens and stuff.
That's not what I'm trying to say. I can't think.
You saying you would fillet the fish, brother?
And you would clean whatever it was.
Yeah, shrimps, like that. That's what I'm trying to say. I worked it up, and then I worked at a coffee shop.
Mm-hmm. And how much will you make?
How much was I making?
About
It's about the same thing. They didn't pay no
$1.
$1 and a half, something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't get a chance to do no work other than domestic work until I came to Dayton.
Right.
And I did some after I came to Dayton.
Yeah.
Now tell me this one thing. One thing, did you ever think you would live long enough to see a black president of color?
No, I didn't. I never thought I would, but when I did,
So that was that a big shocker for you? Was that what that felt?
yeah. Well, we were so glad. We all of us cried.
Well,
Yeah, we were glad, but they did him bad. And if you notice, ever since he was president, we've been going backwards. They've been trying to take us back.
So what do you think about what's going on right now? Because I know you are very much aware and involved in what's going on. So what is your basic feelings about where we are as a country? What is your hope for us? Or do you have any hope for us as a people?
I told you that while ago.
Yeah, but they
I
were listening.
don't have no hope.
I was
That things gonna get any better.
Yeah, I was saying, you guys, that Alberta and I talk frequently, and she's very much aware of current events and stuff, and importance, those things that are relevant. She's very much in tune with our well-being as people, as a human race. But she's more pointed than that. She said once, I don't know how many months ago, that the can was upside down. And what she meant by that, in my opinion, is, in my words, I relate to that, is that we have dug ourselves in such a hole until there's really no way out. It sounds pessimistic and doomsday, but it's the truth. So I asked her, how does she think we can reverse that and put the can upright again? And what did you tell me?
Only God
Only God.
have an intervention that would change it. Otherwise, me ain't gonna never get no better, brother. That's what I feel. Also,
So, in terms of
because things really worse now than it was then. It really is.
and how does that make you feel? After going through all you've been through your childhood in a country where there was no equality. You've seen black men disrespected and called boy and belittled. You went through the era of women being not just black women, but women, period. As a female, what did you go through?
It made all of us feel bad. We couldn't feel good.
Were there things you wanted to do that you couldn't do, not just as a black person, but as a woman, period? What was that like?
It was hard working, Jimmie, to even think about it. It really was. It was bad.
My mother told me, she finally finished high school. President Dolly got a black woman president, because that was one thing that she always wanted to do, is learn and go to school. She did. I think she was in the 60s. Okay. But the thing she told me is like, her grandfather who raised her wouldn't allow her to go to school. She had to walk to school barefoot when she was in school. But they took her out of school because she was a woman. They said that a woman, there's no future for a woman being educated. That broke her heart. And she was so determined and so passionate about getting education until she finally did. She finally did. But she had to go to work. Like you said, all you kids in those days had to pitch in. But for women, you didn't have a choice for the most part. Exactly. You did what you were told, but you weren't allowed to be educated. The white people didn't allow you to be educated, but also your parents a lot of times didn't allow you because they felt you had no future. Am I right?
And another thing, what they would do, the schools that we went to, what they would do, they would take the old ragged books and bring them to the black people's supposed to be school. And they never did. You graduated when you get to 11th grade, and never did go. I was talking about black folks. Never did go to the 12th. You graduate when you get to 11th.
So are you saying you never got a diploma? You never got a diploma? I'm trying to understand what this really means in the scheme of things.
Not what I'm saying is, you get your diploma when you graduate in the 11th.
In the 11th grade.
Yeah.
What was the difference between graduating in the 11th grade opposed to the 12th? Are you saying white kids went to the 12th grade, which means they learned more?
No, I don't mean that. I mean the white people was able to graduate from the 12th grade. Black people didn't go no further than 11th.
That's it. And that it was over with.
Yeah.
See, I'm trying to understand what that was about. Was it about education, or you were not really getting a diploma in 12th and 11th grade? Because there's something in there.
Yeah, you get your diploma if you graduate from 11th grade. Yeah.
Okay. I might have to do some investigation on what that really means, because that doesn't make sense to me. I'm not saying it's not true. All I know is there's something in the game there. So what else happened, Bert, in terms of your education? How far did you go?
I went to the 8th grade.
8th grade.
That's as far as I went.
Right. Now, we have so much.
And it was a blessing that I got this far, but they didn't want us to learn nothing. They didn't want us to all know didn't want us to ride buses. They didn't want us to do nothing.
So when you saying that you weren't your ride buses, you saying
They pick up that they had what they call cabs. We couldn't ride a cab.
They didn't even want you to even ride and sit in the back of the bus.
No,
They didn't want you. They ain't going to on the bus.
Period.
this is when you were a kid?
We walked everywhere we went.
Oh,
We walked we walked downtown to do some shopping. We have to walk. That's reading people's in the shape they are today. A lot of people, they ride everywhere they go.
Mm.
We walked everywhere we went, and that's another thing that made people live long.
So when the civil rights, I didn't even cut you off.
No,
When the civil rights movement started, how does that affect you? What did she think?
I don't know whether it affected me that much because see, everybody was in the same boat. And we knew what was going on, but we couldn't do nothing about it. And we just do what we had to do.
You really had no choice.
Exactly.
There's a entertainer who made a ridiculous statement. And he said that slavery seems to have been a choice. I was very much offended by that.
I still don't know what you're saying.
That slavery was a choice. In other words, black people chose to be slaves.
No, that's a lie.
I know it is. I know it
big time.
you know, because we did what we did, or you did what you did, black people, period, to survive. We had the choice. Unlike the Indians, where they had land to protect, we didn't have anything to protect.
No.
But ourselves. So, you know what? And we did what we had to do to survive. What do you think about the young black people of today, and about young black men calling one another nigger? They don't know what that word means, do they?
What?
About black men, young black men particularly, calling one another nigger today.
Well, I hate it.
I hate it too.
Yeah, and I hate it now.
They don't.
Boy,
I almost said something. Well,
nowadays, though, when they say it, though, Grandma, and they could even say it to a white person, but if they say it to a white person, 9 times out of 10, that's a white person that grew up around blacks.
yeah,
They kind of know the culture.
yeah.
And then they'll say, oh, they got my nigga right there. Here he go. And they might be about to shoot some basketball, play some basketball.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a greeting, but it's a difference when you say, hey, that's my nigga.
Yeah, but
Then when you put the ER on it, that's when they look at it as it's racist.
sure.
I'm saying today,
I
today,
understand what
you
you're
know,
saying.
so she don't know
Yeah.
what's going on. They don't
Oh,
know
I
nothing
see
about
what you're saying.
yeah,
You're
they don't
the educator.
yeah.
See, in my opinion, like Brett, no, you can't really define that word.
No.
You can't make it nice. You can't make it slang where it doesn't matter. And that's an insult to her. I'm 74. It's an insult to me. See, I remember being called that, and it wasn't about a nice greeting. These young folks don't know what that word means. They don't know what that word means. They don't know the blood, sweat, and tears that were shedding behind that word.
that's right.
You can't redefine it. I'm sorry to get so passionate. But you know, they don't know.
But no, I was just letting her see.
No, I get you. She got
But
it.
she don't understand
You got her doing
the street,
They,
where it come from on the streets,
Yeah.
and where it's at now,
yeah.
where it's gonna
All
involve.
because they don't
Yeah.
want to care about it. They don't care when they use that word and call one another. They don't know they're really demeaning one another.
Well, not just that. They the new Ku Klux Klan members. See, these blacks is doing what the Ku Klux Klan is not doing. They killing each other at a high rate.
Okay, I can
You see what I'm saying?
I know what's
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, it's true. It's true. You see, we can't progress because we have to learn to, first of all, honor one another. I had some Hispanics. I live in Koreatown, and this was a couple of years ago, because I get respect where I live, you know? And they said, "What's up, fool?" I didn't take offense because I know that they mean that not as a put down. But I stopped them.
Why did they call you fool?
Fool. Well, in the Hispanic community, fool is like a slang. It's like, "What's up, man?"
Yeah.
You know. But what I pointed out to them, okay, this is your comrade, right? Why I say, "What's up, genius"? Why you gotta be a fool? In other words, build one another up rather than tearing them down. You see, it's all about how you put
It's power. That's what it is.
Thank you, Albert. It is power. Empower one another. Don't call him a fool. Call him a genius.
Well, I see what you're saying.
So, I have a lot of very strong feelings.
I wish I could explain myself. You know what? If I had, y'all had got me when I was younger, I could explain myself better. I can explain it now.
You're doing just fine.
No, you see,
We are loving
you saying that to make me feel.
No, we telling the truth, bro. It's people like you. It's people your age going. They're hospice right now.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
It's you get up every morning. You cooking breakfast and moving around. It's other people that's not even your age. That's younger than you, grandma. That's needing help. Let me tell you something.
Right now, there are people who are honoring you. They don't even know you.
So what?
They're honoring you. The few words that you speak, you think they don't mean anything. But to those who care and those who are involved in life, you are a blessing. Do you know how many people don't live to see or have relations with someone who's lived 104 years? Especially in our community. So just sitting here talking with you, just these people who are just listening to us right now, there's benefit. Yeah, you are to be honored, respected, and loved. Thank you. And we appreciate what you think you're not saying right. We appreciate all of the right, all of the wrong. Whatever comes out of you is meaningful to us.
And if I ain't mistaken, Jimmie, as of last year, June 19th is what? That's holiday, right? So now her birthday is a national holiday.
Yeah.
So see,
Better talk to me.
that's it. That does to learn, man. Because see, now it's like over time, she see that she's been recognized. She got a little reward.
And years ago, we didn't know that about you.
And I didn't. I really didn't. I didn't know the history of Juneteenth till they made it a national holiday on your birthday. So that's big.
Hey, Bert, you guys didn't have a lot of electronic devices and all. What do you feel about what's going on?
That what?
I said in those days you didn't have cell phones and all this kind of stuff. What do you feel about what's going on now? Everybody's got a cell phone or a tablet or a computer or something.
Because some of the people just dead and going on. If they was to rise up and see what's going on today and what they really and what's happening today, they fall dead again. That's the truth.
But see, I remember, and I'm right behind you somewhere. I ain't gonna ever catch up with you. But see, I remember when life was beautiful without all that, So this is why I was asking you earlier, how did you guys have fun there? You see, we younger people, and even I remember when I went to mother, we call it Marlow, into the Grange. When I was a kid, I used to take trips down there in the summer sometime, and Mama always had a rocking. You all let me have a rock. I got a rocking chair myself. To me, it's cultural. In my bedroom.
What I enjoyed it was. Go ahead and finish. I'm gonna tell you that.
You go ahead.
Yeah, it's your show, bro.
Well, the only thing that the way we had to enjoy ourselves after we come to church, that we had to go to church.
Yes, I go to church.
When we get out, we would get together. Some of the people, the church people, some kids would get together, go downtown, get us some ice cream cone, and have pictures made. They would make pictures down there, and we would have them to make our picture. And that was all enjoyment that I can remember. Now, the older siblings, they had what you call apple. What is apple? It was a game they played. Apple. I forget what the last that was called. But they would put an apple in a bowl.
Well, you talking about let me buy that for the apples grandma with the big old bucket
And you try
and leave the apples and we try to pick it up.
No, you try to fight it.
Yeah.
And what they call that?
I don't know.
Apple.
Yeah, Bobby. Yeah, when you buy
Apple bite.
But I remember it. But what I was saying is, well, that is like, what was it saying? I was talking about electronics and so on. And that word, that godforsaken word. See, we remember when they had colored water fountain and white water fountain. Okay? You didn't dare. This is what I wanted. I'm glad I remember now. What happened is you were to go to the white water and drink. What was they do in those days?
If I what?
Okay, you got the white water fountain over here. The color over there, they always say color, right? If you were to drink out the white, what would happen in those days?
Somebody would grab me and tell me I can't do that. That's what they would do. But I had just nothing to even try.
We did. I was feeling.
Yeah, you remember that?
Yeah, that was during my time too.
Let me ask you something.
Yes, ma'am.
When they were sitting, when the black kids started going to these college and sitting sitting
Sit down.
just to get waiting on
Demonstrations, yes.
what's your name? Your sister.
Sandra,
Was one of them.
she was one of them.
Yeah.
She met Martin King too in Chattanooga. She met Martin Luther King in Chattanooga. Yeah,
Oh, she did.
she went to jail.
Yeah, she said that all the reasons she didn't go to jail. Jesse Jackson told them that she was a teenage something. She got out of it. She never.
So she didn't go to jail?
She said she didn't.
Okay. Excuse me, you guys. I ain't trying to peddle no vicious
Jesse
information.
Jackson told them something. She said and got them off.
Yeah.
Maybe she was a minor at that time. I don't know.
Is that terrible?
But anyway, she told me about that.
Yeah.
I know I had heard that. I thought it was more than her in the family that did that. But she said, I am the one.
Yeah, she was the one who was proactive in the early 60s in terms of civil rights.
Yeah.
Because Martin Luther King would come to Chattanooga and they would march and do sit-ins. Sandra, I was young at that time.
But you remember so.
Oh, I remember. Yes, ma'am. I do remember. But you see, Helen was in college. Jay was either in college or service. George was playing football or basketball. He was about marching nowhere. So she was one. Darlene was scholastic, I don't think she was ever really politically inclined, but she was aware. She's a smart.
And Jimmie, I'll tell you what was mind blowing. I better ask Grandma one day. I said, Grandma, you been watching this CNN? I'll get to her MSNBC. That's her favorite show. And I said, she been watching me for hours. And I'll go to work. And I come back and I said, man, I sit on. They've been talking a lot about, this Trump and election and all this. I said, what from, the time you've been living up until now, I said in history, they say they have this, way of repeating itself. I said, where do you see the world going right now? She said, Georgia, the only thing I see is headed towards the direction of another civil war. Within that week, we had that insurrection. Remember that? What was talking about that?
We gotta have some more. We gotta have some more.
And that's big, you know, to say that we headed towards another civil war, and then within that same week, that insurrection. I said, so she on top of it.
Yeah, she is very much a formal pop, because as Sheree and Tina was saying, she has lived through each segment of the progression. And go ahead.
One thing about it, I got a lot of education just about watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things that I didn't understand. And that I got a lot of it off of TV. And I know you saw art. I'm talking about George's art and how they were the first black people that I know of bought a TV.
You talking about Ida and Upway?
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah, you remember that one?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's another thing when I didn't tell y'all about.
Uh-huh.
When we first came to Dayton, we couldn't find a room because so many people had come up and quit looking for Joe. We couldn't find a room. You know what they did?
Huh?
She and her mother stayed in one. Well, they had just one room, and put a curtain across it for me and Joe. That's just how bad it was.
Now tell me this, back then, how much did y'all pay for the house on the west side of Dayton? Because the guy moved past the house one day, and he said that he remembered when his parents sold the house, I want to say in the 40s, when y'all bought that.
No.
What was it?
You mean
The house on 2nd Street.
You mean it was in the 40s? You talking about years?
Yeah, when y'all bought that house.
I don't remember.
Because there's so many words. They was like one of the first blacks to buy a house on the west side back in the day. Moving from the south.
You know how we did that? We didn't have no car or nothing. We would ride the bus. And we would put our money together. And like I told you, we would eat cornbread, black-eyed peas, and stuff like that. And when we come through town, we wouldn't get off the bus. We'd go straight home until we could save up enough money to buy a home. You could get a home then. Wasn't no fine place, so about $25,000.
No.
No, you saying $25,000 for the whole house.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this thing. Being a woman, what do you think about this whole abortion thing?
What I think about
Abortion. Do you think
abortion?
What do you think about abortion and what is happening in our country now regarding abortion? Do you feel that it's religious or
Trump put his finger in the eyes of Christian, supposed to be Christian people. He got them fooled. Trump got them fooled. Trump got them thinking that his father is against abortion. He really can. Watching these programs, I found that out. But so far as I'm concerned, I'm not for abortion.
Okay, but this another thing too. Is some women might have been raped, some might even be underage and shouldn't even be having no kids. Some of them might be having complications with the pregnancy, and it would be better off that they had the abortion and to go months and months and months to giving birth to a dead baby. So it has its advantages, but
so a lot of disadvantages.
yeah.
But like this 10-year-old girl had to leave Ohio to go, my mother had to take her to another state to get this abort. I agree with you there. I think that they should not make a 10-year-old girl have a baby. Yes, I do.
That's so.
But I'm going to tell you something about this abortion. A lot of people use abortion.
What do you mean by use it?
What I'm trying to say, they use it.
It's okay.
I can't get it together, but I know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but she didn't talk when we talked about it before. She told me.
I know you do. So, you've done wonderful. Now I want you to close us out with something.
You know, close me out for both. So you go. Let's close we had ever done. We hear him. We're going to try to close you out.
No, but they can only do so much in a podcast, so much.
We would that all of this not going on that.
No, they gonna edit it too, Grandma. They gonna
They're gonna
cut.
We're trying to set you up.
Well, I hope not.
No, what he said, Brittany. What he said, just more like, is there a piece of advice, like if you was about to leave right now and you were coming back, would it be a piece of advice you could give me and that we could share? You could share it right now. You share it with the world right now. If you was to leave right now today, you know that today is it. What's that one thing you could tell us? Piece of advice. And we could carry with us.
About what?
About just righteous living. Life, period, in general.
Remember you told us earlier, you said you but now, because you might not be able to see me again a lot. I came across country. So tell me something. What he's saying is,
it's like my dad told me, he said, George, you don't never want to have a record, like a police record. And he told me, I goofed that up though. He said, you don't want to bring anything in this world that you can't take care of. So like he grew up in a 2-parent home. So I wouldn't bring no child in the world unless I was married. And she would have to have structure. She would have to be a woman of Christ. So that's a big responsibility. So I could say that's the best piece of advice he ever gave me. So what's a piece of advice you can give us, we can share?
After 104 years.
And yeah, at the age that you are now. Because you've seen it out. And you've seen it again. Just in a different form.
Don't think too hard. Just talk.
Yes. Just let it come natural. Just let it flow.
I don't get it said so much. I don't forget the first thing. Now what?
No, that's all I'm saying. I'm saying, listen, bro. If you knew at 12 o'clock tonight it's done and God gonna take you in your sleep, what would be a piece of advice you could tell me right now? That
take care of yourself because they have to.
All right, now.
That's it. Take care of yourself, man.
I never heard that. She said, he asked her, what would you tell us? Me and her grandson, and I'm her nephew, and the world. If she were to leave here tonight, what would she want to say to us? She said, take care of yourself
and each other.
And each other. Why? Because
they after us.
Thank you, guys. It's been wonderful. And thank you, love.
You're welcome.
And thank you.
Anytime.
Are you ready to skyrocket your podcasting journey? Look no further than The Power of Podcasting by Dr. Tina J. Ramsey. This book is not just any ordinary guide. It's a game changer that offers insider strategies, captivating content creation tips, proven techniques, and monetization secrets. But that's not all. When you purchase The Power of Podcasting, you also receive a complimentary bonus, Dr. Ramsey's sought-after podcast 30-video course valued at $999, absolutely free. It's no wonder this book is a #1 bestseller on Amazon and has been rated one of the top 10 best new podcasting books to read by Book Authority. Dr. Ramsey's expertise and practical advice have earned her acclaim in the industry. So, what are you waiting for? Take the leap and unlock your podcasting success today. Grab your copy of The Power of Podcasting, Unlocking Tips and Strategies for Podcast Success by Dr. Tina J. Ramsey on Amazon, or visit their website at ctrmedianetwork.com. A link will be provided in this episode's description. Your podcasting journey starts here.